People think online games are just pixels and voices, something you can turn off when it gets uncomfortable. But sometimes, the people on the other side don't stay behind the screen. Sometimes, they learn your name. Sometimes, they learn where you live. And sometimes, they're already inside your house before you realize the game ever ended. I never cared about Fortnite. I knew what it was, of course, everyone did. The dances, the guns, the stupid cartoon graphics. My friends talked about it constantly, but I always brushed it off. It wasn't my thing. I preferred real life, real conversations, real danger. Ironically, that's exactly what Fortnite gave me. My friends had been begging me for weeks to download it. Evan was the ringleader. He was hands down the best player among us, and took the game way too seriously. Xavier was second best, loud and cocky. Braxton barely spoke at all unless he was about to die or needed help. Then there was me, the weak link. They finally wore me down one night and convinced me to download the game so we could play squads. For players. For headsets. One match. From the start, Evan took control. He told us where to land, where to move, when to fight. Xavier cracked jokes and trash-talked other players. Braxton stayed mostly silent. I just followed orders and tried not to die. Everything felt normal. Too normal. About 15 minutes into the match, something changed. Evan stopped talking. At first, I didn't notice. Xavier was still rambling, explaining mechanics to me, yelling about loot. But then there was this pause. A strange gap in the noise. Evan, Xavier said. Dude, move. Evan's character stopped dead in the middle of the map. Just stood there. Bro, you lagging? Xavier asked, annoyed. No response. But on screen, Evan's mic icon was lighting up. I could hear something through his headset. Muffled noise. Background sounds. Like movement. Evan, move your character or we're ditching you, Xavier said. That's when it happened. The scream. It wasn't Evan yelling into the mic. It sounded distant, raw, panicked, almost inhuman. A scream of pure terror, amplified and distorted through the headset. Then a door slammed. Hard. Silence. The three of us froze. Yo, what the hell was that? Xavier whispered. Braxton finally spoke. That didn't sound like the game. My heart was pounding. I'm calling him. I shut off my console immediately and grabbed my phone. I called Evan once. No answer. Twice. 3 times. 5 times. Nothing. Evan lived 2 minutes away. I didn't think. I just grabbed my keys and drove. When I pulled into his driveway, my stomach dropped. No cars. Front door open. Lights on. I walked inside, calling his name. Evan. Up here, he yelled back. His voice was shaking. I ran upstairs to the loft bedroom. The door was open. Evan was under the bed, crying. Hide, he whispered. Please. I told him to get out and tell me what happened. He couldn't even form full sentences at first. Eventually, he forced the words out. While we were playing, he felt something touch his foot. From under the bed, he pulled back the fabric covering the bed frame and looked underneath. A grown man was hiding there, staring at him. Evan screamed and threw his headset. The man crawled out slowly, stood up, and walked past Evan like he wasn't even there, out the bedroom door. That was it. Gone. He didn't know if the man was still in the house, so he called the cops. They showed up, looked around, took notes, then they left. No suspect, no follow-up. I stayed the night with Evan. We still play Fortnite, but none of us ever forget what happened when Evan stopped talking. After what happened to Evan, I should have stayed far away from Fortnite. But time does what it always does. It dulls fear. Weeks passed, then months. The story became something we laughed about nervously, something we told at parties like it was an urban legend instead of something that actually happened to someone we knew. My friends never stopped playing. Eventually, I felt left out. They'd message our group chat almost every night. Jump on Fortnite. We need a fourth. You're trash, but at least you're funny. I hated feeling like the odd one out. I wasn't good at the game, but I figured I could practice. Just a few matches. Solo. No headset. No interaction. Just pixels on a screen. So one Monday night, I booted it up alone. At first, it was frustrating. I died constantly. But after a while, something clicked. I learned the map. Learned when to hide and when to fight. I stayed up late playing match after match until I realized I was actually getting decent. That confidence is what got me into trouble. I started playing with random teammates, Duos and squads filled with strangers from all over the world. No voice chat on my end. I didn't own a gaming mic, so I just listened through the TV speakers. That's how I met him. His gamer tag was something like Bob Rocket 16, except with extra letters thrown in. Too many C's and E's. I didn't think much of it. We queued into a duos match. We weren't great. Finished somewhere around 20th place. Honestly, I thought I played poorly. After the match ended, I got a message. "You're really good. Want to run another?" That confused me, but I agreed. The second match started, and this time, he turned on his microphone. At first, it was normal. He tried giving directions, asked questions, but after a few minutes, his tone changed. "Why aren't you talking?" he said. "Put your mic on." "What, you scared or something?" I rolled my eyes. I could barely hear him anyway with the TV volume and in-game sounds overlapping. Then he got angry. "Stop being __, and turn your mic on." I decided I'd finish the match and block him after. That's when I heard my name. Not my username. My real name. My full name. My stomach dropped so fast it felt like my organs shifted. I froze. My brain scrambled for explanations. Is my name on my profile? No. Did I accidentally share something? No. He kept talking, but I wasn't listening anymore. I walked over and shut the console off. Instant silence. I stood there for a moment, heart racing, then laughed nervously at myself. Probably a coincidence. Someone messing around. A prank. I texted my friends and told them what happened. They thought it was hilarious. "LOL, that's creepy, bro. You sure you didn't tell him?" I put my phone down and opened my laptop, tried to distract myself. My phone vibrated again. Unknown number. "Hi." My chest tightened. I replied, "Who is this?" The typing dots appeared and stayed. 30 seconds passed, then a minute. Finally, another message came through. "Is this your address?" Below was my exact home address. I felt sick. My hand shook as I typed back. "Who is this?" Then quickly, "No, that's not my address." The number never replied. I started accusing my friends of messing with me. They all denied it, swore they weren't involved. Part of me didn't believe them, but I didn't want to give anyone the satisfaction of seeing me scared. I went to bed. I don't know how long I slept before something woke me. You know that feeling when noise wakes you up, but your brain hasn't caught up yet? You're awake, but not fully aware of why? That was me. I sat up in bed, heart pounding. Then I heard it. Knocking. On my window. 3 slow taps. I didn't look. I ran. Straight into the bathroom and locked the door behind me. There were no windows in there. I sat on the floor, shaking, phone clutched in my hand. At some point, exhaustion took over. I fell asleep on the bathroom floor. The next morning, I texted my friends and told them all to go to hell. They laughed again, but when I saw them in person later that week, their faces were serious. Confused. Genuinely concerned. They swore they had nothing to do with it. To this day, I don't know if they were lying, or if someone from a video game really found me. If story 2 scared me, this one broke something inside me. Because this time, it wasn't just me in danger. It was my son. My 10-year-old son, Chris, had been obsessed with Fortnite for months. I mean obsessed. From the moment he got home from school until I forced him to shut it off, all I heard was that damn battle bus horn and constant gunfire echoing from his room. I yelled at him all the time. Go outside. Read a book. Talk to real people. He'd nod, promise he would. Then I'd hear the headset click back on 10 minutes later. One night, around 9 p.m., I was in the kitchen doing dishes when Chris shouted from his room, casual as could be, "Mom, I'm having someone over." I froze. I yelled back, "What do you mean someone?" "A guy from Fortnite," he said. "He lives around here." My hands dropped into the sink. I walked to his doorway slowly. "Chris," I said, trying not to sound scared, "how old is this guy?" He shrugged, eyes still glued to the screen. "I don't know. He sounds kind of old." That's when panic hit me full force. I locked every door in the house. Front, back, side. I turned on every porch light and exterior light we had. I told Chris to stay in his room and not talk to anyone else. I positioned myself near the front window and waited. About 10 minutes later, a car pulled up in front of the house. The headlights shut off. A door opened. A man stepped out. He was probably in his 40s, slightly overweight. Hoodie pulled up despite the mild weather. When he stepped into the porch light, my stomach turned. He walked up the path like he belonged there. He rang the doorbell. Once, twice, 3 times. I didn't answer. Then he started pounding on the door. I stayed perfectly still. After a moment, he stepped off the porch and walked down the path, peering into the windows as he went. I ducked out of sight. I thought he'd leave. Instead, he disappeared around the side of the house. The back door handle rattled. He was trying to get in. I stood frozen in the kitchen, phone in my hand, finger hovering over the call button. The rattling stopped. Silence. I waited 5 full minutes before moving. I turned off the kitchen lights and slowly lifted the blinds just an inch. His face was inches from glass, staring straight at me. I screamed. Not a movie scream, pure terror ripping out my chest. "I'm calling the police." I yelled. That worked. He stepped back, walked calmly to his car, and drove off like nothing had happened. I didn't call the cops. I should have. Instead, I marched into Chris's room and lost it. I grounded him for 2 weeks. Took away his games, his headset, his internet access. I scared him, and I didn't care. I needed him to understand. Even now, thinking about it makes my stomach churn, because I still don't know how that man got our address. And I still don't know how close we came to something far worse.